Okay, so hi. I thought I saw you, and I thought you popped off.
Yeah. I put it on mute immediately because of the baby, but
that's okay. Feel free to mute. I thought I saw you on, and I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are here, this way, you know what? Sometimes these smaller calls are better because if you guys have questions as Taryn's going through this, just raise your hand or just unmute yourself because I am excited to hear what she has to say. So for you guys, I mean, Annie, you've met her. If you don't know Taryn, she is a 6-star diamond. She's an elite coach. She's a Success Club legend. We go way back. We go way back, and I'm excited to finally have her on. We've been talking about trading calls for quite a while, and the schedule is sort of never quite lined up. So she's going to talk about facing your fears, which is something that we have talked about not only in the team page, but we've talked about in the bus page and all the other stuff. And I feel like maybe hearing it from somebody who has a different personality, a different perspective, you guys may get a little more out of it. So I'm going to just turn it right over to you, and you go ahead.
All right. Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. So my background, just so you kind of have an understanding of why I like talking about fear and why I think I have some street cred, is because I was a school counselor before I became a Beachbody coach. And so I understand completely like mental health and the psychology behind fear and really where it comes from. So I'm excited to share with you some of my thoughts about fear and kind of getting over it, which is the most important thing, because you can talk about fear, but you kind of need some practical ways of getting over it so you can move forward. So public speaking, right? Everybody hates it. They hate it more than they hate death. Which is crazy, right? Priorities. But so I actually, for the longest time, was not a fan of doing even something like this, like getting in front of a camera and talking to people, whether it's a small crowd or a big crowd, it doesn't matter, like gives me the heebies. But the more you do it and the more you face the fear that you have, the easier it becomes. And over time, it just becomes kind of second nature. So what I kind of wanted to talk about was the difference between an irrational fear and a rational fear. So with irrational fears, you know, we all have them. Like I don't like to fly, right? Some people are afraid of spiders, like even ones that aren't poisonous. Some people are afraid of going outside. Some people are afraid of driving. Some people are afraid of just certain things that in general are irrational. But let's talk about what the difference is, right? So I want you to think of something you're afraid of, whether it's with this business or whether it's something completely different. Think of something that you're afraid of. And I want you to answer this next question very truthfully. If I did the thing, or if the thing that I'm afraid of like came upon me, if I kind of went through with this, would you die? And if the answer is yes, that's a completely rational fear. You hold on to that. That's probably your survival of like your entire like being. But if the answer is no, I wouldn't die, then it's completely irrational. So from my counseling standpoint, what we want to do is change the way you think about things in order to change your behavior. Because if you have in your mind this fear, it's controlling your behavior. It's determining whether or not you're inviting or you're connecting with others or you're inviting to the business. Whatever your fear is around the business, that irrational fear is going to hold you back. So there's usually 4 reasons why people are afraid in this business. And the first thing is you're afraid of hearing no. And I'm just going to be straight with you. You're going to hear no. Like there's no if, ands, or buts about it. It doesn't matter if you're a superstar diamond coach. It doesn't matter if you're the top coach in the company, millionaires, whatever. You hear no every single day. And it's completely okay. And the way I think about it and the way I share with other coaches is if you went to a new restaurant, right? And you absolutely loved this restaurant. Like everything about it was amazing. Like the service was incredible. The ambiance was incredible. Like your actual server was like the bomb. And you were like, you're so amazing. Why can't you be my server at every restaurant? Like just everything, the food, delicious, like everything was incredible. So people ask you, you know, like let's say you go to work on Monday and you went to this brand new restaurant on Saturday night And people ask you like, oh, what'd you do this weekend? Oh my God, I went to this restaurant. You have to try it. It's so incredible. Like, I absolutely loved it. You go on and on and on and on and on. And like, there's a handful of people there, and some of them are going to be like, oh my gosh, I am going to try that. That sounds fantastic. And then there's a few who are going to be like, nah, I'm good. Right? And then the following weekend, some of the people who said they were going to try it out, that they went to that same restaurant and they loved it and they shared with everybody the following Monday. And there's still people who are going to be like, nah, I'm good. Whatever. They don't like nice restaurants. Who cares? It doesn't matter, right? You're just sharing something you're passionate about. And this is no different than a new restaurant or a TV show. I remember when The Office came out and I was like telling every single person ever that it was the greatest show. And like, why haven't you watched it yet? That, you know, it's just so awkwardly funny. Like, you need to watch it. So this is the same exact thing, and you have to understand that not everybody is going to try stuff. Not everybody is going to love and be passionate about what you're passionate about, and that's okay. Like, there's no issue with that. So think of it as, I tried a new restaurant and I'm sharing with other people. I tried the 21-day fix and I'm sharing with other people. I tried Shakeology and I'm sharing with other people. And some people are going to say, nah, I'm good. Maybe eventually over time they'll break them down and they'll try the restaurant. But in general, those people, they're always going to say no, or they'll say no for a long time and then hop on board. So it's okay. So that's the first reason why what people are really fearful in this business. The second thing that you're afraid of is what people will think of you. And I think for me personally, I did kind of struggle with this in the beginning. I might be a Ruby, but I did care about that just a little bit. And so I had to sit next to my coach and another coach in my upline, and they literally had to say, hit send. Like, I'd write up a message and they're like, hit send. And I'm like, ah! And I'd have to do that. And I don't know why I was afraid. I don't know what's the worst thing that could happen, right? People don't respond back. People might say something nasty. That's never happened to me in my 3+ years, if I can be honest. Like, maybe people have been like, why are you asking me this? But never, people haven't been nasty, you know? And like, this goes back to, are you going to die? Like, if somebody doesn't respond, if they say something about you, like behind your back, or they post on Facebook, I can't believe Taryn Dicky sent this message to me. She's so terrible. I'm not going to die. Like, it's totally fine. So my thing with you're afraid of what people will think of you is, I want you to think about the person you used to be, or somebody you know that's close to you that has had a success story that you've significantly changed their life, or you've even saved their life. And I think we have to take a step back and think about what these products and programs really do for people, because there's tons of other network marketing companies out there, and I can't see how leggings or nails save people's lives, but I can see how what we offer as Beachbody coaches can save how it can save people's lives. So you need to restructure your thought to think, me posting or me sending a message or me connecting with somebody and sharing my story potentially could save their life or somebody that they know, right? Maybe this person, it's not the right fit for them, but they have somebody in their life that they know could benefit from Shakeology or a workout that is significantly overweight or very unhealthy, that we have the ability to save a life. And I think if we just reframe that in our head, it makes the inviting process just that much easier. The third thing that most people are afraid of is afraid to invite to the business opportunity. And I think that holds a lot of people back. Like, maybe you're like total rock star when it comes to inviting to challenge groups, and you love that piece, but you're really scared about inviting to the business opportunity for whatever reason. There are two things that I kind of want you to think about when that kind of creeps in, if that's an issue for you. The first thing is, I think people might get fearful around, well, I don't want people to think that I'm just looking to get money, or I don't want people to think that I'm just in it for the money, like, or the fact that I get paid for this makes me uncomfortable. Most of us have all had jobs. Yes, we all got paid for it. There was nothing wrong with that. Like, I was a school counselor, and did I show up to get my paycheck? You better believe I did. I have bills to pay. I had tons of things that were going on in my life. I still needed to go to work. Did I like working with kids? Sure. Fine. But I needed the money. And that's, most people are going to a job because they need money, because they need to pay their mortgage, their rent, their bills. Like, very few people are very blessed that they love what they do. And if you said to them, all right, can you still come in to work tomorrow, but you're kind of going to just be more of a volunteer. You're not going to be paid for this anymore, but you love it so much. So why don't you come into work? Most people would not do that. So there's nothing wrong with the fact that you're getting paid for a job and sharing something that you love. Bring it back to the restaurant example. Imagine you told all these people how amazing this restaurant is, and every time you did, the restaurant gave you like a $25 gift card to go to the restaurant. Like, would anybody say anything about that? No, they wouldn't. They'd be like, oh, that's great, good for you. And there's tons of other like referral things out there, like Stitch Fix and all these other things that people have no problem sharing their referral code, or, hey, does anybody have a referral code for this? But as soon as it becomes like, oh, I'm getting paid for sharing Beachbody products, I think people get very uncomfortable. So that's the first thing with the business opportunity that you need to kind of just get over. Like, people get paid to do a job and people get paid to do stuff that they love. So there's nothing wrong with that. And, oh, there was something else I wanted to say about the inviting to the business opportunity. I lost it. That's okay. So I'll move on to the fourth thing, and if it comes back to me, I'll get back to it. So the fourth thing that most people are afraid of when it comes to this business is you're afraid to fail. And we've done a total bang up job in our society making you guys feel like all you have to do is win. Like, you need to win, and if you're not winning, you're losing. If like second place is the first loser, like you need to win, and anything beyond that is just the worst possible thing ever. And so we've been brought up in the society to think that's just terrible, right? But there's nothing wrong with failing. I want you to think about the most successful person you either personally know or somebody that you're kind you admire. Did they, like, there is not one person in this country, in this world, who is successful in what they do simply because they woke up one day and became successful. Like, this is a lot of work. This is a lot of time you need to put in. And I'm not saying 3 months. I'm not saying 6 months. I'm not even saying a year. Like, you can't expect all these amazing things to happen to you if you're not willing to put in the time and the energy and to fail over and over. You know, like, you just have to get over that and understand that it's just not going to happen overnight. Like, you're not going to be handed customers, well, sort of, but not really. You're not going to be handed customers. You're not going to be handed coaches. You're not going to be handed a paycheck. You're not going to be handed success. You have to work, and you have to understand that this is a delayed response business. So all of the work you do for the next 6 months, you're going to see crop up the following 6 months, the following year, 2 years. And you have to have staying power and understand that it takes time. And you have to be okay with that. So just reframing your thoughts about these particular fears can help you move forward. But if you're afraid you won't be successful, bottom line, you won't be. Like, if you have that in your head already, it's not going to happen. So how do you combat this kind of stuff? Very simple. It's personal development. Like, you need to always be reading things that are going to challenge your thoughts and help you to see things in a different light. And you have to be aware of where your fears are or what your issues are. Because if you're doing personal development for something you're already very well personally developed about, like, that's okay and all, but really you need to be focusing on some areas that you're struggling with that are preventing you from moving forward. So some of the books that I like to help people around, like the fear of sharing the business opportunity or sharing, just the business itself or posting on social media, I like The Go-Giver. And I also like Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl, because I think women in particular, really this is like a common thing for us is that we self-sabotage and we believe that we don't deserve it. So the moment we start having a little bit of success, we self-sabotage. And you'll see this in your workouts. You'll see this with your eating habits. You'll see this with the business. You'll see people who will earn success starters, or you'll see people who earn Success Club, and then all of a sudden they stop, and it's like, it's your self-sabotaging. You don't believe that you deserve the success. You don't believe in yourself. And so you do the things that you know are going to prevent you from reaching those milestones, or those things that are so important to moving your business forward. So my thing, and I tell my coaches all the time, is you just need more personal development. And I'm sure that like some of you like probably eye roll, but really that's really what you need to do. And you need to master those issues and those fears that you have, because if you can't get over those fears, you're going to stand still in your business and you're going to watch everybody else kind of moving along and doing their thing. Not that you should be focusing on that, blinders, but you'll see it all happening around you, and you're going to get frustrated. And you might quit simply because you're afraid and you're not willing to face those fears. So that's all I got.
There we are. I love that. Is that Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl? Is that what it's called? I was trying to read it.
Yeah, Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl. I forget the name of the author.
I've never read it.
But it's great. And it really it's so good. And it's for like everything. It's not just, it's not network marketing specific. Right. It's just how we sabotage ourselves. We truly don't believe that we're worth it. And so we'll do 30 days of a program, and then we'll be like, yeah, pizza, beer, and
yeah. And I mean, I think we see that all the time, in the business. You see coaches hit month 1 of Success Starters, and then they feel like it gets hard, or they hit month 2 of Success Starters, and then they're like, oh my gosh, this business is so hard. Like, it's supposed to be difficult. It's not always easy, but it's simple. And, I talk a lot about this, guys, and I know you've heard me say it when we talk about fear, is like and I know we're talking about fear tomorrow, Taryn. I mean, I know we talk about it, and it's like, everybody sort of goes about their business like a normal human being, and then you sign up as a Beachbody coach, and all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, I'm the only person that's ever been afraid of, like, Beachbody coaches are the only people that are ever afraid of anything. Like, yeah. Everybody has fears, and most of them are irrational fears. I go up every single, I go in and I kiss my kids goodnight every night, and I've always done that. And now, I make sure before I go to bed, I go, and Maddie has this like canopy of like netting over her bed, and my fear is that like I'm gonna go up there and she's gonna be like, all like twisted up in it. So like I go up and I've got to and it's just like my thing, and I've got to do it. But when you translate that into the business, like, people are gonna tell you no. Like, who gives a shit? The world's still gonna go on. You're still gonna wake up tomorrow morning. You can still turn around and hug your kids. Like, who cares? And you know what? When you're in this business for as long as we've been in it, and Annie's been around, 3 years, and I know Leah's been around for, 3 years, these people all come back. If you're out there and if you're consistent every day, they all come back. Because there's so many that they're like, I should have said yes 2 years ago. I can't believe I told you no. And all they'll come back and say, I was afraid. It's. I
told my coach no for 3 years. 3 years, I told my coach no. So, and I think he's pretty happy to have me on his team. So, it's totally been worth it, I guess, for him. But yeah, it's people, they all come back. They really do.
The majority of them do. I can't think of very many that after this much time, they're like flat out, no.
And I've had some haters come back and be like, all right. So.
Yeah, I think we all have. And, just, God, guys, don't be afraid.
It's okay too, and it's completely normal. I think, like you said, Brianne, it's like you think you're the only person who's ever experienced these thoughts and these feelings, but you know, even I'll tell you right now, even the top coaches in the company, they started at least at some point, they've had fears surrounding this business and everything like it. So we've all had it. We've all felt it. Some of us, it's a little bit easier to get over than others.
But there's so many that still have it. I think that's the thing. Like, I think that, you know, so many times you get to a point in this business and people are like, well, you can't be afraid anymore. Like, there's still people that I'm like, I really want to message them, but I'm kind of scared to. But the coolest thing is when you message those people that you're still sort of afraid to message, and then they're like, sure, send me the information. Like, I want to take a look. Yeah. And that makes you feel like $1 million. So why wouldn't you want to try to shoot for that every single time and just keep going? Because yeah, like the world's not going to end if somebody tells you no. I mean,
feels like it sometimes.
We tell our kids no every single day, and they're still here.
Yeah,
and they still ask the same things every day anyway. Do any of you guys have questions for Taryn? No. What are your favorite? I have these two, the Go Giver and Mastering Your Inner Mean Girl. What are some of your favorite personal development books?
So my number one favorite book of all time is How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Mm-hmm. And I think like everybody in life should just read that because I feel like we'd all be able to communicate better and we'd all, you know, be nice and, you know, we'd all like hold hands and sing Kumbaya. But that's my number one favorite book. I also like You Are a Badass because I like hearing that because, I mean, I know I am, but it's good to hear it. So I listen to it. That one's a fun one. Good to Great by Jim Collins is one of my faves. And then I love like GoPro. I think that's like so perfect for like a newer coach, especially ones that even though we might give you exactly what to say, you know, it really does help with like the language to use and why it's used. Sometimes we kind of just hand you maybe like a script. I don't like to call it that, but we hand you a script and you're like, oh, this doesn't sound like me, or I don't want to use it. And even though we explain like, no, just try it. I still think like hearing why it is that we say what we do is important. So
I love it. Do you have specific personal development that you have your new coaches read?
I have them start with You Are a Badass because I feel like almost every single person that comes into my team at least is really kind of struggling in the confidence department. So that is one that I usually have them start with, and GoPro by Eric Worre. So those are my two go-tos for brand new coaches. And then learning more about like what drives them kind of depends on where I push them next.
Yeah. And that's it. And you sort of hit the nail on the head there when you're like, well, if you're already good at it, you stop doing personal development on it. Like,
yeah.
I think so many coaches are like, I love to do personal development on this side of myself, but that side of yourself is already so awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Like, you're good there. Like, find, you know, find something. And sort of find where you're struggling and do personal development on that, and then use what you're really good at to like hone your skills and help other people with
right. Yep.
I love it. I love it. Does anybody have questions for Taryn before we let her go? I feel like we're going to be on Zooms all day. I forgot about that wall call later.
Oh, I know. Was it 6 Eastern? And so
yeah, it's 5 here. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming on today. I appreciate it. I'm excited to talk to you guys tomorrow.
I'm excited too. I was like, so she's like kind of like a no BSer, like she'll just tell it to you straight. And they were like, okay.
I'm not like that at all. Just ask me.
I'm really excited though.
They're probably like, could you sugarcoat that just a little for us?
No, no.
They know I love them. And I push them because they're all capable of being incredible and amazing. And
well, I think too, like when you see
amazing, you should be amazing.
Yeah. And when you see like the potential with this business and really what it can do, and you know other people's whys, like you just want to shake them and be like, come on, you got this.
And I think that's the thing, guys, is there's so many, and I remember being a newer coach and my sponsor didn't have guests on team calls, shouldn't do team calls. So that's why I love having guest speakers on, other leaders in the network come on and talk, because I feel like it's so important. And I remember following coaches when I was a new coach and being like, oh my gosh, they've hit elite, and they had, you know, they're so high in the ranks, and they have all these, you know, accomplishments to their name. And you know what, as you go through, the only difference was that they were doing it longer. And as soon as I started showing up every day, those things started to happen for me. And, you know, I know we all talked about it, like when we started forming these buses. Taryn's got her own bus of her coaches too. And, you know, what Beachbody has done to shape our lives and what it's been able to give us is we just want that for everybody. Because it's just been able to help us do so much, and we just want to sort of like spread it to everybody. And the fact that it's within the grasps of all of you guys is amazing, and I think also sometimes frustrating, because we just want to see you guys be successful because we know that you can. So like she said, face your fears and, you know, go.
Basically, just get over it, okay? Just send those messages and connect with people and love on them and build those relationships. It will all work out. Like, it will all come out, and you'll just see it. And once it happens, you'll like lose your mind. You'll be like, I can't even believe this is really happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no problem.
And we'll have this recording posted later for you guys. So, sorry. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Great, Taryn.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.